If you're a child of the 80s and 90s, and particularly if you was in the UK, you had to choose your Christmas present out of the Argos and Index catalogues. We've all been there. You may have come across Screwball Scramble. Oh yes. The board game that was all about having a dexterous marble and trying to get it across various obstacles within a time limit using just the levers at the bottom of this hunk of plastic. It was designed to wind kids up and make them angry and hate life, but it was oddly very addictive as well, particularly as you was racing against the clock. It was very loud, and when you got to the end of the maze, assuming that you could do it, you'd spank the timer and then you'd pass it to your brother or sister or mates, and they would try and see if they could beat it for you. Now, someone in their beautiful wisdom have recreated this digitally, and it's available for everyone to play for free over at screwballscramble.net. Now, it's a really good adaptation. The marble physics are actually quite sound and logical. And the way how you use all of the different levers at the bottom to get around all the obstacles is just by using the mouse. So some of them are just like on and off switches. Some of them are click and drag around, particularly on like the balance beam section or the maze that you have to kind of tip in different directions to roll the ball invisibly. And then where you've got like the steps where you've got to jump up different things, you press and hold on those levers to evoke pressure, basically, because it was all about how hard you hit it. And if you was trying to be like a super boss, what you do when you got to the steps is if you pressed it hard enough, you can jump from 1 to 4, skipping 2 and 3, and you can do it in this digital adaptation. I did it once and was like, yes! And then I remembered why it was such a fluke that you only got to do it some of the time. This works superbly well. I do caveat that with it struggled with me on Chrome as a browser, but worked beautifully in Edge. So if you're going to have a go at it, it's an in-browser game. It just uses the mouse, go nuts and have fun. It really faithfully recreates the frustration and pain of trying to get this game right. And it evokes specific emotions for me because we're going into Smithy story time. I have a family story with Screwball Scramble. Because I've still got this. It's around my parents' house. I'll have to dig it out and get some like actual archive footage for a different video maybe. But I can't believe I'm going to tell you this. So I was, I think middle year of infant school in the UK. So was playing Screwball Scramble, clearly going very, very excitable, looking like I'm going to beat like a record time. Because I was one of those kids that used to keep a timesheet of like my high scores on different things. Sad, I know. So got to the end where you get to the catapult. And normally when you get excited, you just spank that button and then the catapult would fly over and hit the bell and you'd be like, yes! Well, I spanked the button so hard that the marble flew out the catapult. And because I went, yeah! It just flew in my mouth and I was so surprised I swallowed it. So I'd swallowed the ball bearing from Screwball Scramble and then I was like, oh. So like choked a bit and was like surprised. Then infinite wisdom of an infant school child. I'll just do some handstands. It will roll back out. It'll be fine. Did that, failed. Told my mum, who was like, what the hell? So oiked off to the GP in the hospital, had an X-ray, got to see exactly where the ball bearing was working its way around. I was clearly thinking that this is like Screwball Scramble bonus edition as it was working its way around my body. What my poor mother hadn't counted for was someone needed to check that it popped out the other end of Simon. So for the next week and a half, I wasn't allowed to go to the toilet for number 2 on the toilet. I had to do it in a potty. And then we'd have to go investigating just to make sure it popped out the other side. It did, and then I wanted to keep it, and my mum wouldn't let me. I was like, it's a souvenir, mother. It's been on a journey. Oh. What a child. What a twit. Anyway, so that's why Screwball Scramble has like a very specific, special place, and it's now like a family legacy, because between that and the time when I shoved some Lego up my nose and couldn't get it back out again, they're like my 2 why did we have to go to hospital, Simon stories of my childhood. I was a relatively safe child outside of those 2 incidents, but yeah. So go screwballscramble.net. Really great adaptation. The actual physical board game itself Had a Screwball Scramble level 2 that came out afterwards, and I believe this game is still in circulation now, although having seen some pictures of the latest versions, they've kind of cheapened some of the plastic of it and it looks a little bit flimsier and meh. So they don't make these types of products like they used to. And so I'm glad that I've still got the original 1979 version kicking about in my parents' loft. So yeah. Enjoy! Sorry for the story time. Bye-bye.